Morning everyone, I hope everyone's keeping well. So I'm off out today, no wild camping or anything, just out on a bit of a hike and do a little bit of exploring. And I'm off out with Maya today. I was going to bring Milo and Maya, however last weekend did a quick walk up to Windy and just brought Maya and Milo. Mister wasn't very happy, so he was left in the house with Nick, so it's best off to leave him with another dog. For some reason he wasn't happy just being with Nick and he gave her grief, so just one at a time at the moment. Today I've parked at Hardside Farm up in the Breamish Valley, up through Ingram, and currently heading towards Linhope Spout. But before getting to Linhope Spout, I'm going to take a left, go around the side of Ritto Hill and then onto High Cantle and drop back down to pick up the Salters Road. So the plan is to go to Davison's Lane Waterfall and then have a little bit of explore around the woodland there. There's a few logging tracks which I think have been cleared up from the storms, so I'm going to follow them, see if I can get a couple of routes through to the border ridge. And just because normally I like to go to the waterfall then cut up the Windy Gyle, but those public rights of way have been destroyed. I have found one route which gets us to the road, which is hard work underfoot, but it's doable. So I'm looking for a few other ways on the OS maps. On the aerial view you can see what looks like quad bike trails through the heather and stuff once you get outside the woodland up on, towards the border ridge. So I'm going to have a hopefully a little bit of explore up there, and depending on how the day goes and how I feel, the route back, the plan is to hit the border ridge and head towards Cornhill and then down Scotsman's Knowe, up onto Comfell, up onto Hedgehope, then back down into Ingram Valley or the Breamish Valley, back into towards Ingram to the car, which I think brings in about 20-21 mile a day. And obviously don't have that much light as well, and night is cutting in, so I've got my large head torch with us as well, just in case I need it. But on the drive in this morning, Cheviot was covered in cloud as normal, but Hedgehope, which is here, Hedgehope there, it's crystal clear, and some of the views already. So it's looking to be a beautiful day, apart from that wind, but it'll keep all the midges and the biters away. Plus the temperatures are dropping. I think it was 7 degrees at the car. It definitely feels less than 7 degrees, but as I'm walking I was starting to overheat, so I've taken a layer off and I'll just put it back on if I need it. So I'm going to put the camera away for now and just keep on walking. We'll bring us back in a bit. Alright, so we're just back on the Salters Road path. Well, never kind of technically left it, just some of it cuts across the moors. And in the background there, I don't know how well you can see that, that's Bloody Bush Edge. It's Windigale up into the distance, and that's Cushat Low. And then over the back you've got Weathercarn and Hodgson Low, I think, something like that. And just in the distance there, I don't know how well I pointed that out on the camera, is Shieldmoor, which Nick's done. That's a trig point up there. There's a trig point Bloody Bush Edge, which Nick's to do. Same with Windigale. So I've never actually walked this path before. I have climbed Bloody Bush Edge in the past before I started making YouTube videos and everything. I think I did that with Mister. The same with Cushat Low and everything. I've been up there, but routes to do with Nick, but they're longer routes because normally I tend to walk into the valley, which I've done about 6 miles from the car already, and before you would actually start to climb Bloody Bush Edge. So they make for longer days, and with the light getting shorter, I'm a fairly quick walker, and since I've lost quite a bit of weight, I'm a little bit quicker again. Things is a little bit easier for us, so I tend to do the longer walks on my own at the moment. So I'm still on track to get to Davison's Linn. It's currently just gone 10 o'clock. But this is the view that I've got. So far it's a beautiful little trail. So where we are now is if you park at Hartside Farm and either go around Ritto Hill, High Cantle or High Mantle and drop down into the valley and then pick up the Salters Road, or if you start at Hartside Farm and if you walk towards the farm and take a left to Alnham, I think it's pronounced, and then go over the bridge and keep to the right and follow that road. It'll eventually bring you to the farm on a bend, which you then turn right past another farm and just follow the tracks, and that'll bring you to where I am now. I might try and put a grid reference up on screen if anyone's interested, or I might even do a time lapse, well, not time lapse, it's like a fly through of the route using the OS Maps app. But so far so good. So as I'm walking along through the forest trails, and I've never seen so many different types of mushroom just growing underneath the trees. There's your red ones, there's brown ones, like ones with flat caps. I'm not really genned up on types of mushrooms, but I was wanting to jump through this side here because the whole forest floor is littered with them, but I can't really get in. It's just bog and marsh underneath there. Oops, sorry, a bit too close there. So, but I mean down here, as you can probably hopefully see, there's a lot of the red mushrooms, which I'm not sure what the names are. I did take a photograph of some before. I'll stick that up in there. Hopefully, Richard, if you're watching this video, put a comment up and let us know what type they are, because I haven't got a clue. And I did find another sort of mushroom before. Now my hands are quite large and this dwarfed the size of my hand, so I don't know what type it is neither. I suppose autumn, I'm guessing, for the amount there is, must be the right sort of conditions, dark, damp. You get a little bit of sunlight for them to grow, but hopefully, Rich, if you're watching this, cuz you stick a comment in. I've put the photographs in. If you could kindly identify them for, that would be fantastic. But they're just absolutely everywhere. So that's enough about me waffling on about mushrooms, because I don't have a clue what's going on, but they are nice to look at. They do look tasty, but could probably kill you in an instant. So I don't want to be messing around with things like that. Just going to keep cracking on, and we'll see you in a bit. So we made it to the waterfall, and as you can see behind us there's a lot of water coming down off the hills. It's actually jumping off the top, which is different than the other times I've been here. So I think I was going to get ourselves across there, lean against that rock out the wind, and the sun's shining. It's a bit of cloud rolling in, mind you. It looks like it's windy up the top. So I'm going to sit down there, have something to eat and drink, and then think about pushing on. So I'm going to take a break. So just fed Maya there a small pouch of meat and some of an energy bar. Probably going to stop here for a good half an hour, 45 minutes, give it time to digest and rest up a little bit. Just got the kettle on there, another cup of coffee and a pot noodle, a couple of cereal bars, and then get up from the top of the waterfall and then have another look at the map to see which way to go, whether I backtrack and then pick up the Woodland trail, or whether I just try walk straight up the stream, which saves a few miles backtracking. So see what the weather does. It's supposed to be sunny, clear skies all day, but the sun keeps coming and going. The cloud I think is coming off from the Cheviots and everything, but Hedgehope still look clear on the way in, but we're a good couple of miles at least away from Hedgehope. So we'll, I was going to stop and have a brew and something to eat and bring us back in a bit. So we've just had our lunch there and I've had a quick look at the map again. Now in previous videos when I've tried to get to the waterfall from the higher road or from the top of Windy Gyle, I know I tried to come down this route here. As you can see, I can just make out the road in the background. There's a lot of fallen trees and it looked quite difficult to get down, especially with the shape of the valley. And it comes down, it's pretty hard underfoot as well. So when I've been looking at the map there, it's about 2 miles to where the road split and I headed towards the waterfall to backtrack, and then one of the other roads I wanted to pick up heads back towards the waterfall. So rather than kind of do like a big semicircle, I think I'm just going to try and make my way straight up here. Now if I follow this up for about, I don't know, 1,000 meters or so, it's less than a kilometer, that should get me to a sheepfold and the beginning of the forest road, which I was thinking of picking up. So I can see some deer tracks going up the side there, and I think that's the way I'm going to go. It just cuts a couple of miles off the walk, as I've already been that way, and with us being exploring, I don't know what else I'm going to come across. It's still only early in the day, it's just before 12 o'clock, and I've got, like I say, I've got my head torch and everything with us, so if it runs late it doesn't matter. But it's been a while since I've done a big hike, so I'm just trying to take it easy as such. So yeah, gonna make our way up here and then bring us back in a bit. Hopefully it's not too boggy, too marshy, but we'll push on. So it's definitely some sort of wildlife trail we've been following there. I'm assuming it's deer. Could be deer, fox and other things. One interesting thing, or what I find interesting, is even though the water's bouncing off the top today, which is a lot more water flow than I normally see, if you look at the grass here, how it's all swept across. That's where the water level would have been with the rain we've been having. So it's probably another metre deeper, which that waterfall probably looked brilliant. So we're going to have to come up after some really heavy rain, or a day after some really heavy rain, give the water some time to get off the hills, come back to the waterfall and see what the difference is. But just going to keep making my way through this long grass, following the animal trails. Gee, Maya, she's got her nose down. A few spots where it looks like they've been bedding down on a night time. But normally when I'm up here in the mornings, like early morning, this is where we'd see the deer milling around. Maya, G. So it's quite boggy underfoot at the beginning there. Now it's quite tussocky, making way through the heather and stuff, but it does just look like a lot of grasses and heather further up. So I'm just going to put the camera away now so I can concentrate on where I'm walking. Hopefully we'll bring it back when we hit the sheep pen further up, and hopefully pick up the forestry road again and try and find some routes through, just to try and different hikes I fancy doing in the future. So we'll crack on. So just making way through all the tusky ground and everything, and I just took some photographs of some of these caterpillars I found, and I've just stumbled across a big cluster of them. I don't know what type they are, but this is one of them here. And they seem to be all around here. I'll put a photograph up. I'll get a photograph of this one and put a photograph up, and I'll have a quick look on Google when I get home and see if I can find out what type they are. So I've just crossed over the stream again, following animal trails, and on US maps, the road that I walked in on, like a sort of red gravel road, forestry road, if that's what you want to call it. On the map it shows that this is a forestry road as well, but as you can see, it's just been left for Mother Nature to take it back. Hopefully there's no damaged trees along here. All the damage to the woodland and everything seems to be higher up and on the way I came in, but it's like a main animal highway by the looks of it, size of the grooves in the grass and the amount of what's the word I'm looking for, animal mess. There's a few fallen trees which we're going to have to navigate. I mean, this here looks like it's been hit by the storm, and I've got one here which is lying down, which I should just be able to step over, and I should be able to jump, I hope. Wait. Oh, alright, I've just seen a little mouse or a vole there, so I have to keep her in a short lead because she'll eat it. Right, jump, up, good girl. Wait. Right. I've just seen it in there. So I think we'll follow this track, and this should hopefully bring us out not far away from where I split off to head to the waterfall. And then it should be, as far as I'm aware, if the maps are right, which it should be, the road kind of goes all the way around back to where the public rights of way would cross it to get up to Windigale. So this is just another sort of route through, but the animals seem to be keeping it fairly clear, apart from the odd fallen tree, which is neither here nor there. I'm guessing when I come to harvest this part of the woodland, this tree will be put back in for the machines and everything. I don't know how long it is before they harvest the trees, but we'll see. Might be here one time in the future, might be a huge trail. My G. So if anyone's wondering, when I'm walking along and talking and I'm seeing G and Ho and other words, that's just commands that the Huskies are trained to. G being to turn right, Ho being to turn left. Oh, there's a deer right there. Hold on. I don't know if the GoPro would have picked that up, but it was a large deer just standing there. I've taken a photograph, I'll put it in. It didn't look like it would be very clear because it was quite a distance away, but it's definitely the deer that's keeping these trails kind of accessible. Oh, quite boggy here. Hope you get my... This is a good thing about exploring. You never know what you're going to come across, and you just take it as it comes. And unfortunately it looks like there's a lot of damage to the trees here, so I might have to try and find another way through. But the handy thing about using the OS Maps app on my phone is it pinpoints my location, so I can see whether or not it's worth pushing through the trees or it's worth doubling back. There's quite a few fallen ones here. Looks like I can get around the edges though, so I'm going to quickly check the map again, try and get through these trees, and I'll hopefully bring us back on the road. Wait, right, Maya, this way. Come back here. Oh, G, I'm back. Good girl. Right. Oh. Easy, Maya. Maya can't fit through there, darn. G. Right, G. Oh, that'll girl. Good girl. Right. Oh, oh, oh. Up, oh. Good girl. Whew. Just navigate them trees. That was easier than I thought. I've looked at the map and I'm actually quite away from the main trail, the main forest road, but just following the animal tracks kind of guided you through the trees there. But what I have noticed is if I'd backtracked to the way I came in, to my right hand side there's a stream, so if I cut through the trees to my right, hit the stream and then cut through what looks like a small few rows of trees, that should take us back to the other road. So I've got options. I can either crack on or take a right, and I can see clearly through the stream from here. So ideally I want to stop on this trail, so I'm just going to keep pushing on. So I've picked the main trail back up there, and that wasn't too bad of a walk actually. There is a road, it's shown as a road on the map, which goes up there, which goes straight to kind of the direction of, I think it's Cordlow Cairn, but I want to have a look to see if I can get through down to Davison's Linn from some routes further up towards Windy Gyle. So I think I'm going to walk along this forestry trail and see if I can see any direct routes down to Davison's Linn, and if not, I think there should be some direct routes to the right hand side if the trees haven't fallen, to the Border Ridge. Probably going to have to do some heather bashing to get to the Border Ridge, but I'm hopefully going to come out, if I go up that way, near the King's Seat trig point, which is to do on the challenge list, which I visited in another video, which if I remember I'll put a link in the description. So yeah, feeling that if I can't get to up there, that route looks fairly clear as far as I can see, so I might double back to there and then cut through and head towards Cordlow Cairn, and then onto Combe Fell, and then onto Headshope. If I can get through this way, it'll be onto the Border Ridge, hopefully the King's Seat, then to Cornhill, Scotsman's Knowe, Combe Fell, and then onto Headshope. And so far 9 miles in, and my camera's got about 30% battery left. I've got other batteries with us, but they've been sitting around and it looks like they're all dead, and they're old batteries anyway, so they don't really hold the charge too well. So I'm going to put this away and just keep cracking on for the time being, I think. But to the left there, I don't know, I'll see if I can get through these trees here. To the left there, some of the storm damage, so the trees are flattened basically. So well, I'm just going to keep pushing on and see where we end up. So I've just passed through a little section of woodland there, up next to Murder Clew. I can see if it's pronounced right. And there's this side trail here, which looks like wildlife use as well. Maya's got her nose down, she's definitely onto something. And we did see a young deer before in the woodland. So we're going to push up here and see what's up here. Never been this way before, but it's nice to be exploring somewhere different. I haven't got much battery left, but this was the exploring part of the video I was hoping to do. The rest of it's Combe Fell and Headshope, which Headshope I've done numerous times, but I want to try and keep some battery for the views off the top, because the view should be lovely, but I can't use my phone as well. So I can see a fence just up ahead there, so I'm just going to get up this fence and have a look and see what the score is. So I've hit the fence there, and on the map it shows the fence surrounding the outside of the woodland, and to my right is the Border Ridge or the Pennine Way, and the King's Seat is slightly more west. So I'm trying to follow these trails. which have either from motorbikes or animals over the years. It doesn't look like anything too recent's been through here because the moss is intact in places, but it does look like it's been frequented. I don't know, like I say, maybe it's for deer stalking. I've seen a lot of deer trails and everything, or deer management. I'm not 100% sure what really goes on in the woodlands, to be honest with you. But this should bring us in line with another route I wanted to see. So I'm going to follow the outskirts of the fence rather than drop back in and climb up again to see where it goes. And it looks like it's a closer distance from where I'm heading to the King's Seat, so it's less heather bashing through that. So that's the plan up to now, but I'm going to push on, and if nothing else interesting happens, hopefully bring you back at the King's Seat. Well, that's us back onto the Pennine Way. Hopefully you can hear us alright, that wind in the background. I looked at the other route which I thought was possible, and I think it's called Butt Road Syke is the name of the stream that starts in the hills and runs down into the valley. It looks clear for the top section down to the road itself, but unfortunately I wasn't going to go down to have a look to come back up. We're already 10.5 miles into today and it's now 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so we still have to get to the King's Seat, which is not much further. I'll show you King's Seat trig point if you haven't already seen it, and then I'm going to just be getting my head down and pushing on to the top of Headshope. So fingers crossed, we'll see you in a bit. Slight change of plan. Got up to Corn Hill and then thought, why not? So for the extra distance, might as well get another trig point in. I'm sure a lot of you know that this is the Cheviot. Oh, that's it done again. So I'm going to have a quick photograph here with Maya, give her a quick snack, and then push back down to Corn Hill, and then Scotsman's Knowe and Comefell. So we'll crack on and I'll see you in a bit. Hopefully you can hear us alright. I was on the top of Corn Hill there trying to get a couple of shots of the views and everything, and my GoPro died and I'm not messing around with the other batteries. So here's Maya currently frolicking around in the mud there. I've taken her goggles off to give her a bit of a break. We only got about 200 mils of water left, so well, it's 300 in that one. I think there's 100 in the other one, so I've stopped. There's a little stream running off the hill here. Tiny little stream. So I managed to jump where there's a little bit of flowing water there and fill up my Sawyer filter, and I'm going to filter some water and fill both bottles up so to get some water filtered and push on to Comefell. Currently making my way through all the bogs and the ravines, and that's Comefell just up there and then onto Headshope in the distance. So I was going to get this water filtered and then push on. So I've just dropped off Comefell there, and we're going to start making our way up to our final ascent of today, which is Headshope. Hopefully you can hear us already with that wind. Just over 70 miles done so far. I don't know, maybe it's a mile or less up. Maybe it's a mile up the top of Headshope. I probably won't film much on top of Headshope because that wind's picking up as I'm starting to gain elevation. Legs are sore, feet are a little bit sore, but it's been a long time since I've done this sort of miles and a lot of different terrain, a lot of different types of terrain. Maya's was feeling it before, but when we're stopping filtered water, had a snack and everything, her energy bar's kicking in, so she seems to be doing fine now. I'm just doing really well at navigating all the bogs and stuff with not very many commands, just doing it on her own, which is good. I do trust her instincts. She turned 10 last month, middle of last month, and she still got it, bless her. So yeah, just gonna put the phone away and keep pushing on. Oh, what a beautiful afternoon. Saving the best to last. Just going to try and drop out this wind. I think I'm going to have a break here. We're 18 miles in today so far. So I think just off the other side of this hill there's a couple of groups I can jump in to put the kettle on. Too much, just soaking with sweat, so just one last look at the views and we'll push on. Good, Maya. Are you good? What do you think? So that's just dropped off the side of head choke there and giving myself a little bit of respite from that wind that seems to be picking up. The weather does look quite clear above. We're lovely towards the coast, but looks quite moody in the background there. So I'm just going to have a quick break and we'll take some more fluids on. Maya's been fed, well, I say fed, she's had a snack and everything in water, which is not really interested. I'm going to have a quick cup of coffee and a mug shot to get a bit more energy into us just for the descent and the walk home. I was going to cut across the Great Stand Drop, which is in the background there, but your legs is feeling it now and we're 18 miles in, and I guess it's 2 to 3 miles to the car maybe. So yeah, I was going to have a break and take my time back down, and then hopefully Sunday tomorrow have a bit of a rest day and be lazy. Might get my bike depending on how my legs feel, but we'll see. I'm not going to try and kill myself off before work next week. But the kettle's just about boiled there, so I think I'm just going to have this quick bite to eat, cup of coffee, and watch the view, watch the sun breaking through the clouds and on the background for a bit. So yeah, loving it. So I'm back in the valley now and the rain seems to have stopped and passed. It's nice blue skies over head choke again, and it's black heading towards the coast. So yeah, been an absolutely fantastic day. Haven't got far to go back to the car, about a mile or so. Currently over 20 miles, so it'll be about 21 and a half, 22 miles by the time I get back to the car, because I added the Cheviot in. But yeah, been a brilliant day, thoroughly enjoyed it. It was nice to spend some time with Maya and yeah, just get out in the outdoors. Kind of needed it, if that makes sense. I needed to get out and put myself through my paces today. It's been a long time since I've done anywhere near 20 miles hiking. Just been setbacks with injuries and other problems and other things that's going on. But all that aside, just absolutely loved it today. And it's been a beautiful day, and it's a stunning evening, so I couldn't ask for anything more. So I'll leave this one here, guys, but as always, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on the next adventure.